Right, all goes back. You got to know who you're going to
Right.
have. All right, Slider, tell me about what got you started into racing.
I showed you a picture a while ago of my uncle, Thomas Guthrie, on a 44 car. Back when I was younger than Josh and them, I was probably 8, 9, 10 years old. My dad and him would drive me down to Thunderbolt Speedway. We'd go down there and watch them race, and I kept saying I wanted to do it, I wanted to do it, I wanted to do it, and finally I got old enough where I could try to do it, and I probably started when I was 17, 18 years old and did that.
Well, you have a collection of trophies. Where do you think most of your success has been in racing?
Most of us have been at Thunderbolt Speedway, and I'll go ahead and tell you, some of the trophies back here belong to my 2 boys from racing lawnmowers, but the majority of them are mine. We've won them at Thunderbolt, we've won them at Cordele, we've raced in Cochrane, we've raced in Swainsboro, raced in Brunswick. We've raced some of everywhere. I mean, you know, but the majority of the success, I would say, was from Thunderbolt Speedway.
Tell me about what you raced at Thunderbolt.
We started out driving Thunder Lightning cars, what we call Thunder Lightning cars, and I think he took a picture of a couple of them a while ago there, that some of them that are on the wall, the white 77. I'm not going to tell you about my first 2 cars because they ain't even worth talking about. But, you know, we started out driving that, and then I actually got an opportunity to drive a car for Jake Terry one time. It was a black and orange 27. That was probably my most successful year. There's some pictures of it on the other wall over yonder. Jake sponsored the car. It was his car. I just drove it. Tommy Kennedy used to drive it. I think Tommy got to having some health issues or some diabetes or something, and he had to get out of it. And I got the opportunity to drive it, and all I remember is they had the Malibu car, and I got to drive the Malibu car, which is a picture of it on the wall over there twice. And Jake told me if I ever won a race in it, then he'd build me a brand new Camaro. So the second time we drove it, we won a race in it. And he built me a brand new Camaro, and we raced that for a couple of years, me and Jake Terry did, and we had a big time.
And tell me a little bit more about your Thunderbolt days, some of the stuff that happened when you used to race at Thunderbolt.
Anything in the world that could happen at Thunderbolt has happened. I mean, you know, we've been upside down in cars, and we've been in fights, and you know, I mean, Thunderbolt was a good, I like Thunderbolt Speedway. They used to have a little thing where we let the kids ride in some of the cars, and there's pictures of that with some of the kids riding in the cars, and they used to let the, you know, drivers, you know, run the kids around the track in the race cars. And they, other than that, it was just a lot of good hard racing. I mean, it was, I think it was harder racing back then because we didn't have cars as good as what we got now. I mean, you fought them cars. I mean, you actually, I mean, when you got out of a race, you was tired. I mean, you was give out. I mean, there was a lot of beating and banging, and you know, and I still say this, competitive as a lot of people are, you know, stuff like that's gonna happen. You know, cars are gonna get together.
So kind of compare your racing then to your racing now. What's the biggest difference, and what's the biggest similarities between the two?
There ain't a lot of difference. The cars are better. I think the cars are a lot safer. It's a little more nervous for me to watch my son race than it is for me to race, because I think that I just feel like it's safer for me to do it because I got a lot more experience than him. But he's been doing pretty good. I've been watching him race. But as far as watching him race, it's been more nervous, and you know, I worry about him more out there than I do anything else. But you know, the cars are competitive, and you know, we try to keep good-looking cars, and we just try to put on a good show for the fans. I mean, if it wasn't for the fans out there, we wouldn't be there.
What is it about racing that you think keeps you coming back week after week? What do you like so much about it?
It's the thrill of winning. It's just a thrill of winning. I mean, a lot of people fish, and a lot of people hunt, you know, and a lot of people play golf, and you know, we've just always raced, and it's a very expensive hobby. I quit racing for 10 years, and I honestly don't know why I'm not rich the 10 years I didn't race, because I know what money we spent racing, but you know, the 10 years that I didn't race, I mean, we're just as broke as we are now, but my wife says we just find ways to find money to fix cars, which we keep a bunch of cars in the junkyard we use parts off of, and Josh is fixing to be 30 years old. I got a baby boy that's Aaron, he's fixing to be 23 or 24, and we're fixing him a car outside, and we'll show you that car later. We're going to put him in the enduro class, but Josh wants me to be the type of person that's standing on the sideline and cheering him on now. But the problem with that is I'm not ready to be that person. I mean, you know, that's like I told him, I can cheer him on from behind him in a race car, you know, and I still like to race, and I still want to race, and they used to race go-karts, not go-karts, but lawnmowers. They had actually lawnmowers that would run 80 mile an hour and didn't have no protection on them, and they was dangerous, and Aaron got hurt a couple times, and I finally told him one day, I said, you ain't gonna race go-kart, the lawnmowers no more, and if they wanted to race, we'd build them something safe to race in. And that's how they actually got in it. And Josh, he worked on the car for 2 years out here before he ever even raced it and put it together. But I mean, I enjoy watching him race, and I want to see Aaron race some, but I think we're going to have more fun this year and the upcoming year, just being able to race as father and son, and, you know, being able to share some stuff like that. But one day I'll get old enough, I reckon, where I'll be the one on the sideline cheering him on, but I ain't ready for that. I want to cheer him on now.
Out of these trophies that you have up here, can you tell me which one probably means the most to you?
Actually, the one that means the most to me, I don't have. Jake Terry's got it, and I think it was about 6 foot tall, the trophy was, and we'd won the, I think it was a Memorial Day Championship race at Thunderbolt Speedway in 1993. And he said he was going to get me another one made just like it and bring it to me, but he never has. But I probably like that one the best, I mean, because it was about a 6 foot tall trophy, and you don't get too many of them every once in a while. That was about the last thing I remember until we got to Valdosta down there, and they cut about a $400 fire suit off of me, and the doctor checked me out and told me I was crazy and wanted to know why we raced and stuff, and I just told him it was just fun racing, you know, it was competitive, and I asked him what he did for a sport, and he told me he played golf. And I said, well, I'm going to laugh at you if you ever get hit in the head with a golf club. So, but they didn't buy me another fire suit, I know that. So, but I sat there and I run the rest of that race. I hadn't drove a car in 10 years, and I kept saying to myself while I was driving the car, there's no way I'm going to win this race, because I hadn't drove one in 10 years, you know. But Josh had the car set up, it was handling good, and I just kept thinking, you know, when's the race going in? When's it going in? When's it going in? Because I wanted it to get over with, and because I was, you know, wanting to win. But I never thought I'd have pulled it off, but I actually did. But that was crazy out there, I mean, because you ain't raced in 10 years and you get out and drive a car and you win one. But a lot of good competition got took out, but, you know, that's some of the good and some of the bad. I was just fortunate enough to be where I was at and to be able to pull it off. So, back when I was on the Sparks Fire Department, they, y'all was talking about a while ago the things that you remember the most. That was one of the things there that was presented to me for bravery and loyalty and dedication and saving a life on 11/11 of '08, presented by the Sparks Fire Department. You see these things on TV all the time where firefighters going in houses and they bringing people out on their shoulders and stuff like that. I'm gonna tell you something, in reality that does not happen, because if you got all that turnout gear on and you got your air pack on and everything, that lady didn't weigh 90 pounds, and I couldn't get her on my shoulder to save my life, but me and another fireman actually got her out of the house. Bubba Lawrence, he's on my fire department, and we actually got her out of her house. She had, the lady had hearing problems. She couldn't hear, and she didn't have her hearing aids in, and the deputy sheriff was beating on the window and everything, and they just couldn't get her away. And the only thing that saved her is that she was covered completely up, laying in her bed. She was covered completely up, and the smoke hadn't got to her. But when we finally found her in her bedroom, when we uncovered her, the smoke got to her, and then we actually had to take her and get her out of the house. But that was a pretty memorable time right there. So that was pretty cool right there.